Welcome to Anafram Market Perspectives.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Anafram Market Perspectives. It's Friday, and that means it's time to wrap up the week and take a closer look at how the markets performed. Here's what we're covering today. First, we'll start with a full S&P 500 performance review. We'll see who came out on top, who struggled, and what key trends shaped the market this week. Then we'll break down the impact of interest rates, inflation updates, and major financial events. Did things play out as expected, or did we see any surprises? And of course, we'll check back on our Monday stock observations. How did they perform? Were there any key takeaways we should keep in mind? Now, just a quick reminder. This isn't financial advice. We're here to help you understand the market so you can make informed decisions for yourself. And before we dive in, we want to hear from you. Got a stock or a topic you'd like us to watch for next week? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know what's on your radar. If you're enjoying these insights, hit that subscribe button and share this with others. Now let's get into what happened this week. The S&P 500 wrapped up another volatile week as investors navigated rising interest rate concerns, trade war fears, and major earnings surprises. This week, we saw a clear shift in investor sentiment. Defensive sectors like healthcare and energy saw inflows, while technology, consumer cyclicals, and semiconductors struggled. So let's break down the winners, the losers, and the biggest drivers behind these moves. Market winners, where investors found safety, healthcare and biotech. Defensive plays took center stage. ABBV plus 5.23%. Demand for oncology and immunology drugs kept investors bullish. Pfizer PFE plus 2.54%. The company reassured investors with strong long-term revenue guidance. Merck MRK plus 5.37%. Its blockbuster cancer treatment, Keytruda, remains a dominant player. Gilead Sciences GILD plus 4.18%. New FDA approvals boosted confidence. Energy stocks benefiting from market uncertainty. ExxonMobil, XOM, plus 2.53%, and Chevron CVX, plus 1.05% gained on higher oil prices. Investors turned to energy as a hedge against inflation and geopolitical risks. Financials held up. Despite rate uncertainty, Visa, V, plus 5.23%, and Verizon, VE, plus 5.08%, continued higher as consumer spending remained resilient. Market losers, tech, retail, and tariff fears. Tech stocks struggled as investors took profits. Oracle, ORCL, minus 3.01%, Adobe, ADBE, minus 3.83%, and Palantir, PLTR, minus 14.10%, saw pressure as investors locked in gains and worried about valuation risks. Semiconductors took a hit on trade war concerns. Broadcom, AVGO, minus 7.57%, Qualcomm, QCOM, minus 3.70%, and Nvidia, NVDA, minus 0.25%, were affected by Trump's latest tariff announcement targeting Mexico and Canada. Consumer stocks are in trouble, retail and auto in the danger zone. Amazon, AMZN, minus 6.76%, Tesla, TSLA, minus 5.91%, and Home Depot, HD, minus 6.66% suffered from weak consumer sentiment, falling retail sales, and upcoming tariffs. Tesla, the trade war casualty, or Trump's election move. Tesla is particularly exposed to these tariffs as its supply chain relies on Mexican manufacturing. Some analysts are questioning whether this is an economic strategy or an election play by Trump. Could these tariffs be pushing automakers to shift production back to the U.S.? What's your take? Are these tariffs an economic necessity or election posturing? Drop a comment below. Inflation, trade, and the Fed. What's next? This week wasn't just about stocks. Macroeconomic data is shaping the market's next moves, and trade tensions are making things even more uncertain. Here's what we learned. Eurozone CPI, 2.5% year over year, in line with expectations. Europe's inflation battle continues. U.S. consumer confidence, 98.3, forecast 100, 2.7. a sharp drop signaling worries about inflation and economic slowdown. U.S. new home sales, 657,000, forecast 679,000. The housing market is cooling as mortgage rates stay high. GDP growth, 2.3% quarter over quarter, lower than expected. The economy is slowing. Core PCE inflation, 2.6% year over year, still too high for the Fed to cut rates anytime soon. And now tariffs are back in full force. Tariffs on Mexican and Canadian goods start March 4th. Trump has officially announced that a 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian exports will go into effect next Tuesday. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has said she will seek talks with Trump to prevent economic damage. This move could hit automakers, industrials, and consumer goods producers hard. Key takeaway: inflation remains too high, rate cuts are delayed, and now tariffs are back. Expect increased volatility as traders react to trade war risks. Monday's stock observations: Nvidia, Home Depot, VOO, ETF Nvidia, NVDA. A wild ride in AI stocks, EPS, 0.89, beat forecasts of 0.84. Revenue, $39.3 billion, above estimates. Despite strong earnings, Nvidia pulled back as investors took profits. Ichimoku Cloud Analysis. Nvidia is below resistance, meaning bullish confirmation is needed before a breakout. Home Depot, HD. Good earnings, but weak stock. EPS, $3.13, beat forecasts of $3. Revenue, $39.7 billion, above estimates. The stock dropped as consumer spending showed weakness. MACD analysis. Bearish momentum suggests further downside. VOO-ETFA long-term play amid volatility. VOO remains a top pick for market exposure. Currently near key resistance. A breakout could confirm more upside. Key takeaway: Nvidia needs technical confirmation before a full recovery. Home Depot faces near-term risks due to weak consumer sentiment. VOO ETF remains solid for long-term investors. The VIX index: is volatility just getting started? The VIX jumped past 18.5, signaling renewed market fear. Higher VIX levels often mean more downside risk. Key takeaway: if the VIX stays high, expect continued market volatility next week. What's next? That's a wrap on this week's market recap. Here's what we learned. Tech stocks took a hit, with AI names pulling back. Tariffs on Mexico and Canada could cause major disruptions starting Tuesday. Inflation is still too high, delaying any Fed rate cuts. VOO ETF is holding strong, but volatility remains a factor. The VIX spike signals a bumpy road ahead. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Tesla will recover from these trade war concerns? How will Trump's tariffs impact the market next week? What stocks do you want us to cover in our next session? Don't forget, like this video if you found it useful. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below and let's talk about this week's market action. See you Monday for our next market preview.
Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe and share this with others. See you next time on Anafram Market Perspectives. Next time on Anafram Market Perspectives.